Hello and welcome to the Revolve Commercial Show. In this show, we take a deep dive into commercial property, conversations with experts in the field, education in commercial real estate, and I share examples of case studies of how to master good commercial acquisitions. My name is Mish Daniel, and I'm the founder of Revolve Commercial, where wealth revolves around you. We've worked with thousands of commercial property owners and have been best known for helping our clients to build wealth, earn great cash flow on autopilot through commercial real estate. If you're interested in speaking with our team to see how we can help you to get your wealth to revolve around you, go to revolvecommercial.com.au. Now, this is a little cheat sheet. I call it cheat sheet. All of my spreadsheets that we work on, they're just easy access, very quick, click a button and get an answer sort of thing. So there's an example. If you're looking at a property and you can see that the rental is $200,000 and you know that the cap rate is 6%, the value of that property should be $3.333 million. However, if you're wanting to buy that property at 7%, your asking price should be $2.857 million. You can play around with these numbers. You can drop in your own numbers there, of course. And we've got a reversal yield as well. So in other words, if the agent is giving you the value of the property and telling you that it should be around about a 6.5% cap rate, you immediately can drop that in and see, so the rental income should be around about 200,000. And sometimes they tell you that and you check the rental income and it's not, it's 185,000 or something like that. So that tells you they're not on top of the numbers. You most definitely want to be on top of your numbers when speaking to agents and drilling down on everything that you're doing. The next thing we're going to have a look at is equity, budget, and cash flow. Now, I mentioned earlier, let's just keep it simple over here. Let's just say you've got 400,000 in equity. Now, let's just say that that is money that you've got lying around in a bank, okay? It's lazy money. And with that money, you can get a 70% LVR, which gives you a budget of 1.33 million. Now, at 1.33 million, you want it to be buying a property at around about 7%. And again, I'm kind of being a little bit futuristic here because I believe that we are going into a 7% market again. And your rental income should be 93,333. Your interest that you're going to be paying would probably be slightly higher than 4%, but I'm just going to stick it to 4% for ease sake right now. And all of these numbers you can change as you're working through these spreadsheets, our little cheat sheets. You've got your interest of 53,333, which means that the cash flow that you're putting into your pocket is 40,000. Once you've looked at a property and you've worked through it and you've decided, okay, the yield's okay, if I can get it at 7%, it's a great property. You want to be drilling down a little bit further. You're going to be looking at the numbers in your IM versus the numbers out of your lease. What period is the tenant in that lease? So in other words, let's say it's a 5-year lease and they are 2 years in. It means that they would have gone through one incremental increase. Has that been taken into consideration? Is it being reflected? What are the outgoings? Now, this spreadsheet that we have in front of us, again, it's information. So over here, we're looking at a property that is 3.5 million with a 70% LVR at an interest rate of 5%, management fees of 6%, fairly average. And you can put a couple of your acquisition costs in there as well. And your inputs, bearing in mind that on all of these sheets, your inputs are going to be in blue. So anywhere where you've got blue is where you're putting your inputs. And what it automatically does is it works out all the numbers for you. So it's going to give you the cap rate, the capitalized return on your investment, the cash flow, the cash on cash return. So if you're putting cash into this property, what it's going to be giving you, this one's not looking very good. Your rate per square meter, again, it's your input. Whatever you're putting in there it's going to reflect into your rate per square meter, your monthly repayments, mortgage, cash reserve required, and your debt recovery ratio. So everything is already worked out for you. All you need to do is just get your inputs right. And it's vitally important that you're getting those inputs from the lease. Another spreadsheet that we work with on an ongoing basis is increasing value. All right. And I've just put one of the spreadsheets in here, which reflects the value, your incremental increases. So if it's just a set and forget property, and you want to know what your incremental increases are going to be, let's say after 3 years or 5 years, you pop your price in there, you put your rent in there, you can change what your incremental increases are, whether it's CPI, but obviously you've got to put the number in, 5.2 or 3% or 4%, whatever it is. And this automatically grabs your rental, does the calculation of 900,000 and tells you that the value of your rent is going to be 30,900 in year 2. Now, if you've bought this property at 7.5%, it tells you that you now got a 7.7% property. And so it goes on in year 3, 4, 5. And let's say the lease ends in year 5, you're going to be up at 8.4%. Now, that tells you a couple of things. Do you want to keep the property? Is there going to be a rental review? Is the tenant staying on? Should you sell this property? If you're selling that property at 5% and you are earning 8.4%, very good deal. So there's quite a lot that you can be doing with this. And this is vital information just to keep as and when you're progressing the stages of owning your commercial property. Now, often I get asked about equity in one's home. And I thought, the easiest way to do this, I usually draw a graph. And I thought, well, numbers speak volumes. So let's just have a look at the numbers. Let's say you are borrowing or you have a deposit of 400,000 and you've got an LVR of 60%, which gives you a average property of $1 million. Your rental income is 70,000 at 7%. And I'm using the same figures right throughout just to make it simple. Your mortgage is futuristic, 5.8%. That means you're paying 34,800. And the cash flow you're getting out of that property is 35,200. So what we've done here is we have given you the great divide. So in other words, if you are sitting on $400,000 of cash sitting in the bank, okay, you got to understand that although it looks like you're making money, you're getting $14,000 per annum on that cash flow. In actual fact, you're nowhere close. All right, because what's happening is that's the interest that the bank's paying you. We're at inflation of 5.3% right now, and you're being taxed on whatever money you're getting from the bank, so whatever the bank's paying you. Now, bearing in mind, you cannot write this off because this is just sheer income coming into your account, which means that realistically, if you do the calculation, at the end of the day, the value of your cash after sitting there for 1 year is going to be $388,600, which means that you have just lost $11,400. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you that if you use that cash and you're putting it into a commercial property or a property that's giving you income, you're actually making money at 3 times the rate rather than losing money. And in the first instance, we're going to go over here where you're getting an LVR of 70%, okay? You're getting an incremental increase of 4%, which is $2,800, which means that your rental of 70,000 that you were getting if you're using this money and buying a property is now gone up to 72,800. Now, not only have you made $2,800 for nothing, you have also, now you've got an asset, bricks and mortar, that has gone up from $1 million, revalued at 1.166 million. So the value that you're actually adding into your portfolio is immense. It's huge. Every single number, every single dollar makes a difference. So I'm going to drop down to year 5, where your rental has gone from 70,000 to 78,740. With your incremental increases, you're adding that on. You now got 81,890 and 10 cents. And the value of your property has gone up to 1.3 million, as opposed to if you are leaving your money in the bank and you're leaving it there for years and years, thinking that you're getting a good interest rate out of it. After year 5, you've actually lost 53,842. So if you think that you're getting money from the bank, there is nothing for nothing. The bank is going to get their pound of flesh any which way. So have a good think about that. Have a good look at that. So if you've got money sitting around, lazy cash, use it or lose it. Thank you for joining us on the Revolve Commercial Property Podcast. Don't forget to join our private Facebook group, Cashflow on Autopilot with Revolve Commercial, where we share weekly updates on positive cash flow commercial properties currently on the market and how to acquire them. So go to Cashflow on Autopilot with Revolve Commercial or www.revolvecommercial.com.au.